Joining us now to take another look at the same issue from the economic and business side this morning is Muda Yusuf, who is former DG LCCI and CEO, Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise. Thanks for joining us this morning, Mr. Yusuf. Well, this has been on for so many years, and it's almost like the closer we get to the finish line, then it will seem like something or someone just shifted the goalpost again. This whole full deregulation of the petroleum sector, fuel subsidy removal thing is already generating another set of reactions, as it always has. Where you sit, from what you can see, especially as it affects the economic side, what are we looking at?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning to all our viewers. Well, this is a very challenging situation, but we must note that we need to worry about the sustainability of this economy. Because whether you are a union leader, labor, private sector, students, you need to have an economy before you can even have a conversation. The reality is that the economy is bleeding profusely, and the economy is highly distorted as a result of this subsidy. And it's not just a question of something of today. We have been on this, just as you said, for over 2 decades, right from the days of Oshomole. And we can see the price we are paying for it. And because we did not do these things early enough, the cost to us is increasing by the day. Now, first, well, it may not be a popular thing because leadership is not about popular decisions. It's about what is sustainable. And it's also about future generation, not just the present generation. So we should not just be talking about the comfort of those of us that are here today. You should also think of the future generation. So the point is that
when you talk about my sincere apologies, Mr. Yusuf. My apologies. When you say that you know the economy is bleeding, and this fuel subsidy thing is a major way that it bleeds, a good number of people will agree with you. But that's not the only bleeding source. There are those who have complained about the cost of governance. There are those who point out, you know, some civil society organizations point out the bleeding that happens through the ministries, departments, and agencies. The Auditor General's report...
It's already a law, even as we speak. Not deregulating is even a violation of the Petroleum Industry Act. But the law is not enough. You need legitimacy, and you need to bring people on board, which is the stage we are in now. So there has to be that engagement. And when I talk about engagement, it is also not good to have positions that are too rigid, just because we want to be seen to be taking a popular position. You know, this is the part that led to the collapse of the economy of Venezuela. Exactly this scenario. Go and check out Venezuela economy. It is this subsidy that brought down that economy. It's an oil-producing country. So I think people who are the labor leaders and all of that, I'm appealing to them to at least be a bit more realistic in their position, to engage a lot more. I'm not saying that this is going to be easy. They may also, you know, not be looking so popular in the eyes, but we have to think about sustaining this economy. I mean, the future is not, I mean, look at the fiscal position. Look at the amount of debt that you are accumulating. Look at the amount of debt service. We can have engagement about cost of governance generally. That is important. And the engagement should continue. But that is not a good reason to allow this continuous bleeding of the economy.
Shouldn't that conversation begin before the conversation around cost of governance begin now as a show of goodwill on the part of government before we begin to talk about this fuel subsidy removal and full deregulation, which will have, as you said, direct effect on
the government is already talking about that. They have been talking about this for almost a year report. and all of that. It's this same labor that is saying that there should be no retrenchment of staff. Is it not? Has labor not been opposing it? Because if you have to implement that LCCI report, close to 30 or 40% of the labor force in the civil service will have to go. Is that acceptable to labor? Is that not part of cost of governance? Then, of course, issues of corruption, those things are there, I admit. But we have EFCC, we have ICPC, we have all of them. Also, they have been trying their best. I'm not holding brief for them. But what I'm saying is that we cannot, because of that, now continue with a situation where we're spending close to 3 trillion annually on subsidy, and not just because of that, because of the investment implication, because of the macroeconomic implication, because of the fact that we are almost feeding the entire West African sub-region with our PMS. That is not sustainable, unless you want to cripple the entire economy. If that is what you want, fine.
So what would you...
both labor and all of us will suffer it.
So just one last one. What would you be telling the average Nigerian now who is definitely, as you said, going to be directly affected by this in the immediate and short term, in the short and the midterm?
Well, the thing is that there's no salvation without sacrifice. I know there's already a lot of sacrifice on the table. The government is making a proposal on palliatives. Let us get more views, more opinion on the best way to ensure an immediate cushioning of the impact of this. I think these are the... I will also let them know that it is also better for us, for our children, for our great-grandchildren, for our grandchildren, and all of that, that we have an economy that is sustainable. We have an economy that we can grow so that you can create more jobs, you can diversify the economy, and you can stop the bleeding that is happening through this channel. You talk about corruption. The biggest corruption is coming from this subsidy. That is the reality. Okay.
Well, we have to thank you very much for your opinion this morning. Mr. Muda Yusuf is former DG, LCCI, and CEO, Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprises. Thank you so much for your time and thoughts this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.